Heckscher Ohlin theory. So I'll just state what the theory is saying. It is actually saying that a nation will export the commodity whose production requires the intensive use of the nation's abundant and cheap factor. Right? Guys, what is it that we have seen in our last recording? That nation 1 is labor abundant and nation 2 is capital abundant. That's what we have seen. So according to this theory, nation 1, what should nation 1 do? Nation 1, who is a labor abundant nation, right? Nation 1 is a labor abundant nation and X is a labor intensive technology. That's what we have seen in our earlier recording. So nation 1 should export X because X is a labor intensive technology which is using more of nation's abundant and cheap factor. So for nation 1, labor is abundant factor and labor is a cheap factor. So nation 1 should produce more of the commodity which is using nation's abundant and cheap factor, in this case labor, and import the commodity whose production requires the intensive use of the nation's relatively scarce and expensive factor. Right? So for nation 1, which is a labor abundant nation, it is a capital scarce nation. X is a labor intensive good while Y is a capital intensive good. Right? So nation 1 should export X. Why? Because nation 1 itself is labor abundant and X is labor intensive.